Last night, we saw the start of a brand new era in New England. Not only did we see Jacoby Brissett back here, but Drake May, a couple of plays here and there. But more importantly, we got to see the first debut of Joe Milton. And he kind of gave a breath of fresh air to all of the New England Patriots fans because of a couple of different plays. In this video, I wanted to break down a couple of players who I thought stood out in this game and are positioning themselves to potentially even be big time players for the Patriots down the line. So we're going to break down some film. Before we dive into the video though, comment down below, who do you think stood out the most to you? Before I name my players, who do you think stood out? Let me know in the comment section down below. And also, we did live stream this game on my Twitch. We reacted to it live, so if you want to watch it with me, make sure you guys go follow the Twitch. Link will be in the description. With that being said, let's kind of dive into Joe Milton in his debut. So this is the play that pretty much shocked the world a little bit here and allowed everybody in New England to have a slither of hope about the future of the quarterback position. Now, one thing I will say, the offensive line didn't look great on this play. Obviously, we're going to get the tight end off to a slow start, allowing the edge rusher right around the corner. We're also going to see immediate pressure off this edge, and then this linebacker is going to attack the B gap and, pretty much get in there right away. Actually, maybe even the A gap here. We'll see how he gets in, but instant pressure pretty much right off the bat on this 2nd and 5. Now, let's watch how Joe Milton handles it. So, obviously, you're going to get this play fake here to the running back. As he turns his head, the pressure is already coming in his face. Tight end here, again, if we go back and watch it, slow start off the snap here. Very slow start. Want to see this guy get into position a lot quicker there. That could cost you a roster spot at the end of the day. You need to be someone who can, help block and keep your quarterback clean. So boom, that's pretty much the negative, but the positive comes pretty quickly here as Joe Milton evades pressure. And you know what this reminds me of? It's going to be a little bit of a crazy comparison here, but there's two guys, right? Obviously, Lamar Jackson is the guy that does this all the time, but someone in college that did it as well outside of Joe Milton was Bo Nix. If you watch Bo Nix at Auburn, or if you watched him at Oregon, this dude was doing this all the time. And Bo Nix was a first-round pick quarterback. I don't know how Joe Milton went as far as he did, but man, the Patriots got a steal, obviously getting away from one, and then he goes back to his throwing form, right? Trying to still get that football out, looking down the field, even though there are, 1, 2, 3, 4 guys here coming after him. I mean, he is still looking down the field to pass the ball. 46 does get back into the play, gets back into a blocking formation here. Good job by him making up for earlier, and then allows Joe Milton to get around the edge, and then once he gets that slither of space, I mean, man, good luck. Good luck stopping him. Ends up, running 50 yards to get maybe like 10. Maybe like 15 yards there, 16, 17 yards. Joe Milton, that was the beautiful, scrambling, getting outside the pocket, feeling the pressure, coming off the edges, and then making a play out of nothing. That's a good one. Now, this might be one of my favorite plays of all. Obviously, we got a trio set over here with 3 wide receivers, a tight end, then you got Jaquan Jackson, who we'll talk a little bit later about. But watch this play here by Joe Milton, right? We're going to see, again, we're going to get this play action to the running back. And the first thing we're going to notice is, again, we're going to get pressure off that edge. Whoever this guy is had a pretty good game getting off the edge. But the one thing we notice here about Joe Milton is he is very smart and knows his surroundings. So what we're going to see is, again, more pressure off this edge, more pressure off this edge. So what he does here is he's going to step up into his pocket, right? A lot of quarterbacks at this point in time will get outside, right, and force something bad to happen, whether it be a sack or a throwaway or maybe a carry or a scramble for a couple yards. But let's watch how Joe Milton handles this specific play. So boom, again, pressure. He's going to step back up into that pocket, and again, he's a guy that wants to throw the ball. He will run. He is a great runner as well, but he wants to be someone to throw the ball. Here, another great play. Now, I don't know specifically if he was actually going to throw this football or if he just had the IQ to say, okay, if I pump fake here, these guys are going to overcommit to the throw, and I'm going to be able to scramble outside the pocket. So again, let's watch what he does. Pump fake. That guy jumps up into the air. 92 actually turns around because he doesn't know what is going on. And then boom, Joe Milton off and running just like that. Has a lead blocker in front of him. Uses him very smartly. Cuts back into the middle of the field and gets about 13 yards on that play. Another big time pickup for Joe Milton using his legs. Alright guys, real quickly before we deep dive into even more film of Joe Milton and the New England Patriots, make sure you guys do me a big favor, hit the like button, but more importantly, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Guys, it is free. It does not cost anything to subscribe, and we will be covering the Giants throughout the entirety of not only training camp, but preseason and the regular season as well. Last night, I actually live streamed the game, reacted to it with you guys on my Twitch. If you want to do that with me, watch the games with me, go follow my Twitch right now. It was fun last night. The link will be in the description, or you can find it at Matty Dubs with 3 S's. And you already know, once the season kicks up, we're going to be posting videos like this every single game, so make sure you guys join the family. Now, on this play specifically, we see a bunch of different things, right? Two standouts of this game, Jaquay Jackson and Joe Milton. Now, what we saw from Joe Milton on this play, before I talk about Jaquay Jackson, was his ability to manipulate a defense, right? So he drops back. The first thing we're going to notice here is he is going to give a little shoulder fake here, but also, more importantly, he is going to move the defense to the right side of the field, which is massive, right? Not a lot of quarterbacks come out of college and is able to manipulate a defense, right? If you guys watched the broadcast last night, Brian Hoyer did a really good job breaking it down because he had the all 22 coaches film. Sadly, we don't have that, okay? So it's going to be tough for me to really show you guys what happened. Now, there is a deep safety. We're just going to use this guy as an example. I don't even know, because the camera angle, I don't know if this is the deep safety. But what we see here is one lone safety. And since Joe Milton looks to the right, it shifts this guy even more to the right side of the field. Okay, now keep in mind, I don't even think this is the actual safety on the play. I think he's a little bit over here. But again, he's able to shift the defense to the right side of the field, allowing Jaquay Jackson to pretty much have a one-on-one matchup. So again, keep that in mind when you're watching this play. Unbelievable play by Joe Milton. Being able to do that out of college is very impressive. So boom, he's going to give you a little bit of a shoulder fake. Honestly, you might even have that quick out if you wanted it. But honestly, it looks like that route wasn't really an out route. So boom, steps up in the pocket again. I love how Joe Milton has the confidence to not panic in the pocket. He doesn't panic. This dude is chill as can be and throws a laser. Now, when it comes to Jaquay Jackson, what he did on this play, you had an out and up route here. And again, I can't really show you what he did, but for example, he acts like he's going to break out. He had a crazy head swivel, right? Forced the DB to overcommit to the out, and then boom, gets up the field. It was unbelievable. I'm going to go try and find that exact play so I can break down the route of it. But dude, guys, I promise you, it was the most dirty route you'll see, especially from a UDFA wide receiver. This dude just made a big name for himself in this game, and that was a massive play. Okay, so I did find the Brian Hoyer breakdown on Twitter. So again, this is his analysis of it, or his play, where you see the safety kind of rotating over to this side of the field once Joe Milton looks that way. So that's pretty much what we were saying, right? Was able to manipulate 30 here to get to that right side, kind of turn his back to the wide receivers on the left side of the field, and again, creates this one-on-one matchup between Jaquay Jackson and his DB. Now, the first thing we're going to notice is the attention to detail of Jaquay Jackson's route, right? When he turns this way, he's going to snap his head back to the quarterback, right? The reason he does that is to tell this DB, okay, wait, he might actually be expecting the ball here, okay? So what that does to this DB is make him overcommit to this. Because whenever you're reading your wide receiver, you're really paying attention to the head and the feet, right? What is he doing? Right now, it looks like he is fully committed to that quick out. And then as we progress into the video, into the highlight, you're going to see him very quickly. Let me actually slow it down because I know they're going to speed it up a second. I want you guys to be able to really see this route to what it is, right? So again, it's going to back out to Brian Hoyer a little bit. Let me fix that. And then boom, right? Overcommitted. He's going to overcommit to that out. And then boom, right when he feels that defender coming up, he is going to turn that change of direction in a moment of nothing, right? I mean, that happens so quickly, right? Maybe Joe could have led him a little bit better, but that's a beautiful play. That is a beautiful route. Oh, that is a Jaquay Jackson definitely gets a plus in my books for that route right there. Again, we reacted to this live in the game. That was so fun to do on Twitch. Make sure you guys follow there. Also, you know what was crazy? I had Jaquay Jackson over yards in this game. Made some good money on Underdog Fantasy. You can also find the link to that in the description. Guys, they give you free money if you use my code and sign up. But also, they give you free squares. And what that basically means is, for example, Drake May or Jacoby Brissett, I guess could be your day one starter, right? Over half a yard game one. It's the freest money you'll ever take. Go deposit $5 right now, get your free deposit, and go get a free square. Alright, my next couple of standouts would be just a combination of the entirety of the defensive line and some linebackers as well. I'm going to say Dietrich Wise was one of them specifically, as well as Jeremiah Farms, and Joe Giles Harris was good. O'Shane Ximenez really was good, and then Christian Ellis. I would say those four guys defensively really stood out to me. There's also a couple more. When you look at the DB room, I thought a guy like Sean Wade should have had a pick six, or maybe not a pick six, but a pick. Who else played well in the defense? Mikey Victor could have had a pick as well. It was very, very close. But overall, those are my standouts from yesterday's game. On this play specifically, we're going to say Dietrich Wise get right around the edge, and what could have been a forced fumble on the quarterback comes off the backside. Great job there, right? The first thing you notice about that play specifically is he is going to fake inside into that B gap and then come back out to the C gap, which is amazing. He's got really good speed for a defensive end to be able to pull this off. Boom, right? Fakes in, kind of throws his arm up there, bounces back outside, gets right around the edge, and this is a big time play, man. If you're able to do this a lot in the NFL, you're going to force a ton of fumbles, right? Maybe didn't get his hand on the football on that play specifically, but that was a big one by the defense, and I loved what they showcased in this game as a defensive line. The one thing we know about the Patriots is they always have a good defense, and I don't think that changes this season, even without Bill Belichick. All right, here's another really good play. I like this one out of Joe Giles Harris. He had a couple of nice swat downs at the line of scrimmage and really showcased to me his versatility as a linebacker, not only being able to drop back into a coverage, but also when he blitzes the quarterback is always keeping his head up and focusing on what the quarterback is doing. So again, we're going to get basically just a full blitz here, a bunch of guys coming in to the backfield, right? So basically you got 5-on-6 potentially with the running back staying in the block as well. So let's see what Joe Giles Harris does. So boom, makes contact with the running back, does a really good job picking up. Good job by the edge rusher getting around, forcing Plummer to get this ball out way quicker than he wants to. Looks like his intended receiver was probably this dig over the middle. 22 was in good coverage as well. So not really sure how this play would have played out, but it looks like maybe the guy has a step on him. But Joe Giles Harris, again, keeping his eyes on the quarterback at all times and is able to just kind of throw that hand up and get a nice little deflection. Again, I don't know if this would have been a clean catch and run, if it would have been broken up. I have no idea, right? It looks like maybe it's a step. Depends what the throw is looking like there. But Joe Giles Harris potentially saves a third down and forces another punt by the Panthers. The pass defense did really good, only allowed a field goal in this game, and I thought that was another really good play. Alright, so this will be the last play we show you. Now, right away, we have off-zone coverage where all these DBs are pretty much going to be pretty far back for the most part. We're going to get a couple of guys, in some zone reads. I believe this guy's probably in a flat. This guy's probably in a mid-read. This guy's probably in a flat. And then you got a couple of deep guys as well, right? And then for the most part, guys coming in trying to get pressure on the quarterback. Now, what to notice here is we're probably going to run a comeback route for this wide receiver up top. Again, let me clear that out for you. He's probably going to run like this and then cut back last second. Sean Wade's responsibility on this play is deep, right? He's not necessarily responsible for this wide receiver specifically, but if he realizes that this is the only wide receiver on this side of the field, right, and there's nobody crossing the field trying to get behind him, then he is now allowed to make that decision. But it also is his responsibility if a receiver does get behind him and get a big time touchdown, that would be on him as well. But on this play specifically, he does a really good job realizing, okay, nobody's behind me. This wide receiver up here is going to start breaking out for that comeback route. Plummer tries to hit him on the comeback, and then Wade does a really good job pursuing, coming in here, and should have got an interception there. But a really good job there by Sean Wade, who is trying to play for a roster spot here. I believe he will make the roster. You have Jonathan Jones, you have Christian Gonzalez, you have Marcus Jones, and then from there, Alex Austin, Dio Jr., then Sean Wade could be one of your main backup DBs on this football team. Let me know what you guys think overall about this video, my breakouts from today's game. would have to be, I would say, Jaquay Jackson. I would say Joe Milton. I would say, I liked what I saw from Dietrich Wise. Again, I don't think he'll be a starter, but I think he's someone that will rotate in a ton. I like what I saw from Joe Giles Harris, Christian Ellis, O'Shea Ximenez as well looked pretty good to me. Jeremiah Farms. And then Sean Wade should have had that interception. So let me know what you guys think. Mikey Victor also should have or could have had an interception. So let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next Patriots video, which should be very, very soon. Peace.